also known as VFL. They covered North Richmond, including the infamous Trojan projects. VFL was the biggest stronghold early on, and the wildest too. You'll see why in a second. Just across the train tracks, Richmond-sur-Tracé, also known as RST, would form a large section as well. Then in central Richmond, the Central Side locals would form between 16th and 21st. And finally, the Easter Hill locals formed in South Richmond's Easter Hill projects. All of the sections rolled together and openly wore blue in Richmond. Interestingly enough, they only rarely ran into issues. This is because Nortes didn't have a unified presence. Instead, members were sprinkled throughout the city. And due to this, the Southsiders thought they had zero resistance, a piece of cake if you will, but quickly they learned of a large Northside presence not too far away. The unincorporated city of San Pablo is located right above Richmond. Technically, it's not Richmond, but it's basically the same thing. The only difference is that the entire city of San Pablo is covered by Northsiders. And despite being its own city, these guys are only a couple blocks away from North Richmond. Well, when these guys found out about each other, things got really bad. The 2000s became a true battleground between red and blue. You never knew what could go down on any given day. Starting off, VFL was the wildest by far. They wanted to test anyone wearing red. This is just an awful part of Richmond history. Starting in December of 2007, VFL went out looking for any members they could find. Their days consisted of hanging out in North Richmond during the day and going out looking at night. So let's dive in. December 22nd, 2007. It's a Saturday night and 3 VFL members meet up on 4th and Grove in North Richmond. Just a few days prior, the VFL members had gotten into a confrontation with their RST allies. But rather than taking it to an unnecessary level, both sides decided to fight it out. So one of the members calls them, but they don't pick up. So now what does VFL do on this Saturday night? They're bored in Richmond, so they decide to drive out to San Pablo looking for rivals. 11 p.m. Francisco Romero drives and Hector Molina and Jorge Sanchez get in the back. They head to the Broadway area where rival members are known to be, and on the corner they spot a man in a red hoodie walking with a friend. So Hector Molina asks the driver to pull over and let him out. So he hops out of the car and walks up to the guy in the red hoodie. He yells, "This VFL," and sadly he makes a horrible decision. Later on the news, they found out that the guy in the red hoodie was just a student at Richmond High School, and more importantly, he wasn't affiliated with anything. And this instantly made it a high-profile case for Contra Costa County. Well, early on they received an anonymous tip, so Richmond police investigated Hector Molina. After searching his car, they found a blower, a baseball bat, and a blue bandana. However, it didn't match the casings in San Pablo, so they only booked him for concealed carry. The judge would let him out the next day. So Hector called a fellow VFL named Victor Cervantes to come pick him up. So Victor came, and during the car ride, Hector told him everything he had done. This would end up being a bad decision for him. Later on, Victor would testify against him in court, but we're not there yet. For the meantime, the Southsider madness continued. January 26, 2008. It's another Saturday night in Richmond. That means that house parties are jumping. Mind you, this is in the middle of the hyphy movement, so the entire Bay Area is lit. And on this